So very first story, and one person is confirmed dead. He's actually died of pneumococcal meningitis in the Upper West region. Now, this follows the confirmation of 3 cases in the Nadoli-Kalio district after the testing of some 13 samples. 4 of the suspected cases are said to have come in for testing from 2 neighboring districts. Nadoli-Kalio District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Florence Angsomwene, disclosed this during the annual health review meeting of the district.
Speaking at the 2015 annual review meeting of the Nadoli-Kalio District, the Nadoli-Kalio District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Florence Angsomwene, stated that the overall performance in the district showed that significant progress has been made despite the numerous challenges.
Essential achievements were made with some of the key indicators. We had a rise in our BCG, measles, yellow fever, and a decline in penta-3. On surveillance, 1 sample of acute flaccid paralysis, that is polio, was taken to Noguchi. And then we also had 3 samples of suspected measles and 4 suspected yellow fever. They were all sent to the Public Health Reference Lab for investigations.
Let's now go to the region and speak to correspondent Rafiq Salam, who joins me on phone now with a lot more on the particular situation. So, Rafiq, now, what has been the reaction of townfolk upon hearing this particular news?
People are really not happy with the situation in the Upper West region. You know, we have 3 districts, namely Nadoli-Kalio, Jirapa, and the Nandom district. They are lying on the CSM belt in the region. And so this latest case that we talk about, Nadoli, where we talk about 13 suspected cases and 1 person dying as a result, is really not somehow surprising to the people because we know the terrain there. But our latest checks from the Health Directorate in the Upper West region also revealed that a couple of days ago, Jirapa also recorded about 12 suspected cases, but they are still keeping an eye on Nandom. And so in the Upper West region here, 6 districts, talking about the 1 municipality where we learned that 4 cases, where there were 4 suspected cases some few days ago, where 2 also were also confirmed. And then also the 1 East district, we have the 1 West district. These are the districts that at the moment where the disease, where we have suspected cases. And so people really are alarmed about the situation. But the regional director, the acting regional director in charge of health services, Dr. Wilfred Ofosu, is allaying the fears of the people, saying that they are already they are already up to the task because he said that as of November, they knew the situation, and then also they brought drugs into the region to put a clamp on it.
Right. Many thanks for that particular update. Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam. Meanwhile, health officials in the Volta region have confirmed 4 more cases of pneumococcal meningitis in the region, with 1 confirmed death. Let's get more from the Director of Health in the region, Joseph Noete, who joins us on phone now with a lot more. So, Doc, good afternoon. Many thanks for your time. Is this a situation that needs to get a lot of us worried, really?
I didn't get that bit.
Yes, I'm asking whether the situation is one that should get many of us worried.
Well, we are worried ourselves, but I think that we are on top of the issues, and then we'll handle it. But yes, as has been said, early this morning we got confirmation of 4 new cases of meningococcal meningitis, that's the CSM. And one 11-year-old girl, I'm told, died from it. And our worry in the region is that it cuts across the region. 1 was confirmed from Infanta South Hospital, another one also from Mando Marquardt Hospital, 1 also from Ketu North Hospital, that's St. Anthony's, and then 1 from the Municipal Hospital in Keta. So as you can see, it cuts across the region. And for us, as a health directorate, then we are getting worried that it's cutting across the region.
Indeed, we're told earlier not to panic because some measures have been put in place to curb the spread of this particular disease. That was at a time when one case was confirmed. At this point, really, what should be that message to the ordinary citizen who is in the Volta region or any other part of the country where this particular outbreak is now? Yes,
the issue is not, still we say don't panic, because these are cases we suspected earlier on a specimen were taken. The confirmation has just come. Aside the initial ones that were seen, we are not seeing any new cases. So that is why we say don't panic. And we are making sure that we'll restrict ourselves to only these few cases. What we have done is we have sent the disease control officers into the communities to follow up and get contact to these cases. So having gotten the contact, we'll monitor them, and those that need some prophylaxis will be given. So
has there been any correspondence between yourself and government on probably materials needed to help you fight or battle this particular disease?
We have resources.
You have enough resources?
Yes.
Okay. Many thanks for your time on News Today. And indeed, that was Joseph Noete, who happens to be the Director of Health in the Volta region, joining us on phone with a lot more on that particular situation where we are told that 4 new cases of pneumococcal meningitis have actually been confirmed in that region. But the Ministry of Health, meanwhile, says it is not planning a massive vaccination program for meningitis, despite the soaring deaths. Now, Health Minister Alex Sebefia tells Joy News the focus is more on intensifying public education and providing health facilities with the needed support to deal with the outbreak. Now, he however stated that some vaccines have been procured.
Occurrence of meningitis in one area or the other, it does not necessarily mean that it is part of this particular strain of this particular strain that is going around, because you tend to find that meningitis will appear every once in a while in different areas, but it won't appear somewhere because this strain is out. Then people get anxious that, look, is it spread that far? It does come inadvertently in 1 or 2 areas, but I can assure you that a lot is being done to try and bring this under control.
Honorable, finally, is the Ministry of Health considering vaccines to do a nationwide vaccination?
Not at this stage. We have areas where this illness tends to occur, so we are aware of the catchment area, and this is after years of research and being victims of the disease. So we are going to, once we've brought this under control, we will then sit down and look at what we need to do to ensure that we don't get into a position like this. In 2011, there was quite a high number, over 1,000 people were infected, and then that led to us doing the vaccinations, and you would notice a steady decline from 2012, 2013, 2014, and then 2015. This has come up. Actually, the figures are not necessarily that high, or let's say as high as 2011, but because of the strain that we have, a lot more people have died than would normally if it was the normal strain that we are alive to. So we will look at it. What we need to do is first get this under control. Once we've got it under control, we'll definitely look at it. And if we need to do vaccinations in those areas, again, like we did in 2011, yes. If it's reached a stage where we have to... No, we have some vaccines. We are actually, as I said in the Public Accounts Committee, we needed to do some serious soul sourcing immediately to get some of the vaccines in. So in that regard, we do have some vaccines. When you decide to embark upon a sector or zonal vaccination program, then you have to look at the numbers and then do a proper procurement for that process. And if it's nationwide, it gets even bigger. But we will look at that when we've got this completely under control.
Are we waiting to record huge figures before we consider doing the vaccination for these areas?
No, we are going from experience as to what has happened in the past. History and experience is the best teacher. And we believe that at this stage, we should be able to bring it under control. We have to do a lot of education, and our people are going around doing that. But if you might use, for want of a better phrase, a sledgehammer to crack a nut, if you're not careful, At the same time, it may be that you get to a point where you say, no, where we are now, it's a situation where we should have to do a lot more. And now we don't just need a sledgehammer, we need a crane. And so that's the way. But you look at it based on history, and you look at what is on the ground now and what is happening, and then you take it from there. You notice that they are even talking of a different strain coming out. So for that reason, you have to be clear what it is that is actually causing it and where we are. And it's a bit premature to jump the gun. But I can assure you that there's enough expertise in the country to look at the problem. And as we go through it, the experts will inform us, and we'll take it from there.
Well, away from health, let's turn our attention to security, and let's go to the northern region where 2 people have been killed in sporadic shooting in Bunkpurugu. Several houses are also said to have been burned down following the incident on Wednesday evening. Seth Komboati of our security desk has been monitoring developments in the town and our reports. What's the background to this
It's
story?
a chieftaincy conflict, and it's from 2 brothers from the same clan, that is the Jamon and the Jafok group. The Jafok group occupy the skin now, and the Jamon gates don't understand. They want the chief out. They believe they should have been on the skin. That is the problem. This one, we don't know what triggered it. All I know is that they started shooting at the curfew time. That's right after 8. You know, the curfew starts at 8 p.m. They started shooting, and it was really, really difficult for the security there to control the situation, because the people have invested in sophisticated weapons that the security are not even familiar with. So when they fire, it's hard to determine what kind of weapon they are using and where they are firing from, because they are not in their homes. They fire from the forest and other places. They have their own hideout, which makes it difficult for the security there to really go after them. So that is the situation, but my understanding is that the security there has been able to bring the situation under control.
Member Bunkpurugu Police Commander Superintendent Stephen Delaporte tells Joy News calm has returned to the town following an increased patrol of the Combined Security Task Force.
Yes. So far, 2 people were confirmed dead during this crash. Yes, we started yesterday.
Do we have any idea what could have sparked this latest violence?
Hello?
Yes, Superintendent, I'm asking whether we have any idea what could have possibly triggered this latest violence in the town.
You are asking of the situation at the moment in the town.
Yes. Okay. What's the situation now?
Situation is still, and there's a threat, security threat in the town. So we are on patrol, intensive one, to bring the issue, the situation down. Okay, so let's talk about last night when the incident happened. Really, what we would want to know is, many are telling us that this situation, this thing happened particularly at the time of the curfew, really, when your men were supposed to be patrolling. What happened?
Yes, it was during the curfew hour when they started. This thing happened.
Were your men on the ground? You couldn't make any arrests?
No arrest is made now. We are still patrolling in the area and also going around chasing the suspected victims. Copy.
So, Mr. I understand what you're doing now. I just want to know what happened last night.
As you can hear me now, I'm still patrolling. I'm outside the station and then in the town somewhere. You can see that I'm outside with the additional commander and other personnel over here on patrol. That's why I cannot even hear you well.
Okay. So I'm believing you've been able to communicate to the affected families here. What have they been saying? I mean,
communicated to who, please?
The families of these two who have been killed.
We are not yet to reach them. We are still calming the situation down. So later, before we see to that.
But you're saying, as things stand now, the situation is calm.
Our usual operation, patrol, to calm the situation down.
Okay. And that was Superintendent Stephen De La Porte. He's actually the Bunkpurugu police commander. You heard me speaking to him earlier on News Desk. We can move on and do a lot more security issues. And the Ghana Immigration Service has intercepted 12 locally manufactured single-barrel guns that are plowing the Volta region. The guns were being smuggled from Togo into the country through unapproved routes. Now, a 41-year-old man who was smuggling the guns has been arrested and handed over to the police to assist in investigations. Correspondent Fred Kwame has more.
Between 4:30 and 5 p.m. on Wednesday, immigration officers at the Aflao border noticed a man on a motorbike with a sack was trying to use unapproved routes along the Aflao beach to enter the country from neighboring Togo. So realizing this, the immigration officers became vigilant and then placed their radar on him, monitoring his movement. So they monitored him for quite some time, and then they realized that the man's behavior was suspicious. So they decided to walk to him, question him, and then do some thorough checks on him. So during the checks, they discovered that the man was actually trying to smuggle 12 single-barrel guns into the country. And these guns were wrapped in a sack, or they were hidden in a sack. So the man was trying to smuggle the 12 single-barrel guns into the country through unapproved routes. That is, he was trying to use the Aflao border route. So they quickly arrested the man and then started to interrogate him. So during the interrogation, the man, who is a 40-year-old man, and then Meningitis, revealed that he was transporting the guns to some hunters in neighboring Côte d'Ivoire, and that he was coming from Togo. So the immigration officers quickly handed him over to the police to help with investigation. And then, however, the police are hoping that they will soon clamp down on his accomplices that are helping him to undergo or take or do this smuggling. And then also this comes on the back of about 100,000 shotgun cartridges that were intercepted at the Koglo barrier in December by the Aflao Customs Division.
You're still watching News Today here on your Joy News channel. We have a lot more stories coming up right after these messages. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now. And Speaker of Parliament Edward Doajaho has described as improper and unconstitutional a directive by the Ghana Revenue Authority to banks to suspend the implementation of the 1% tax on interest and on investments. Now, according to Mr. Doajaho, no entity or outfit is allowed to suspend an act of Parliament without the approval of the House. Parliamentary correspondent Elton Bobe joins me on phone now with a lot more. Elton, good afternoon. Many thanks for your time. Now, what more has the Speaker been saying, really?
Well, the point is that the matter relating to the 1% tax on interest and on investment, it's a matter that has already attracted some discussions in the media. The President, at the media encounter, said that they were going to review that particular act, and the Finance Minister has also said same. And indeed, the Ghana Revenue Authority, in a communication to all the banks, asked them to suspend the implementation of this particular tax. But because this was passed in Parliament as part of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2015, Parliament, the issue must first come to Parliament for the necessary amendments to be made before the directive can be sent out to the banks not to implement this particular issue. So the Member of Parliament for Volta, Dr. Anthony Akotoso, who is also the ranking member on the Finance Committee, drew the Speaker's attention to what, in his estimation, constitutes a breach of the Constitution regarding the directive by the Ghana Revenue Authority to the banks to stop the implementation of the tax. Now, the Speaker first said that he is not privy to this particular communication, but if that is the case, then the GRA or the Finance Minister is in breach of the Constitution. He further admitted that though he's received a letter from the Finance Minister saying that government wants to amend the Income Tax Amendment Bill
to remove the 1% tax on interest earned on investment, Parliament as a body has yet to consider this on the floor. So until that is done, nobody has that power or will to go and interfere in what has already been passed. So what Parliament passed before it went on that reset should still be the law. No amendment has been made. But what we are yet to see is whether the Finance Minister will officially come to Parliament with a bill that will seek to amend the Income Tax Amendment Bill. But for now, the Speaker is saying that what GRA is doing is improper, is unconstitutional, and it directed the leadership of Parliament to liaise with the Finance Minister to ensure that the right correction is done to avoid a possible impeachment of the finance, because that is what some members of Parliament are asking for.
Okay. Right. But again, we're told about something else that was happening in Parliament, a situation where the Speaker was mentioning that, he is yet to be officially communicated to as to the reshuffle done by the President. Can you tell us much more about that as well?
Exactly. Yesterday the Speaker read a communication from the President announcing new nominees for some ministries. But that communication failed to also tell Parliament about about the designation of some existing ministers. Like, for example, you have the Agric Minister, moving to the Transport Minister, and the Interior Minister moving to the Presidency as a Minister of State. This communication has yet to come before Parliament. Earlier, the Majority Leader wanted Mr. Marco Oyongo to lay a paper on behalf of the Finance Minister in Parliament. But the minority side drew the Speaker's attention to the fact that Mr. Marco Oyongo, President's communication to the media, has been relieved of his position as the Minister of Interior. Therefore, he was not in a better position to lay the paper on behalf of a cabinet minister. But the Speaker, in his ruling on the matter, said that he has, yes, he's formally informed of the changes. What the President communicated to him relates only to the appointment of some new ministers, but those who have been redesignated is a matter that has yet to come before him. So, as far as he is concerned, he will continue to recognize Mr. Marco Oyongo as the Interior Minister until the right thing is done.
Many thanks for that update. Parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe joined us on phone with details of today's proceedings. But away from that now, and let's turn our attention to the Ashanti region, where we are told authorities of the Bekwai SDA Senior High School are looking for housing options following the displacement of 52 of its students after fire razed down one of the school's dormitories. Now, several beds, academic materials, and personal belongings of the students were all consumed by the fire, which reportedly started late last night. Let's get more on this from correspondent Erastus Asari-Donko joins us on phone now with the details of what really happened last night. So, Erastus, what's the situation in the school today?
Well, the authorities are currently trying to find a place for the students. In fact, if you look at them, they are so dejected because many of them are final year students who are about to write their final exams, and they've lost everything. I mean, their whole 3-year notes and textbooks and other academic materials that they've gathered. And so many of them are really devastated. And so the authorities are trying to find a way of psyching them up. And they are going to give them 2 days off to go home, liaise with their families, and come back. And they are also saying they are going to give them uniforms, 1 uniform each, and some textbooks to start with. And then they are praying on government to come to their aid with some mattresses for them to sleep on.
Erastus, let me ask, we are told this incident happened late last night. So where did these over 50 students pass the night?
Well, some of them have been sleeping in the staff common room of the school. Some have also been taken together with their colleagues in other dormitories. And so that's what they've been doing for now.
Is there any idea as to what could have triggered this particular fire?
As of for now, the fire service personnel, they are conducting their investigations, but then the working theory here is that some students normally, connect illegally some wires to either heat food or play music or otherwise. And so they are suspecting that it might have been some of these illegal connections left over for prep that might have caused this fire.
Well, We'll leave it here for now. Many thanks for your time on News Today. And that was Ashanti Regional Correspondent Erastus Asare Donko, bringing us a lot more on that particular situation where we are told that some 52 students, including some final year students of the Bekwai SDA school there, well, as things stand now, they do not have a place to lay their heads. They've been asked to go home and return in 3 days' time because of a fire outbreak there. You're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. Time for a break. When we come back, John Omwako joins us with business.
And now this is business. And cocoa processing company CPC until recently was the market leader when it comes to adding value to raw cocoa beans. However, recent challenges have caused the company to lose this accolade. The firm over the years has failed to pay dividend to shareholders and also saddled with huge debt. Yesterday, it shut down 2 of its 3 plants immediately for maintenance works. But the workers believe it is rather because of the lack of funds to purchase beans. So what is causing all these problems? Isaac Osei is a former chief executive of Cocoa Board, the company biggest shareholder, and also a former board member.
It's a basic problem relating to the ratio confectionery products which are produced and then the butter and the liquor which is also produced. The money end of the thing is in confectionery, but I don't know whether they have now the capacity to produce sufficient confectionery to make the whole project viable.
Through their financials, it come across as if funding is a major problem. Why is it then difficult to go to any bank or a strategic investor to get that funding to turn around the fortunes of the company?
Well, I mean, if the company itself is so highly leveraged, I think it's going to be very difficult for somebody else to come in. So first of all, you need to do some financial restructuring of the company. But I would say that if we can restructure the plant in such a way as to produce more confectionery, then the income will be generated to make the project more viable.
Because some might argue that it looks like capital is not just the problem. The whole module and management style maybe has to change.
I'm only saying that perhaps it's one of the things that we need to do, to look at the place again.
And to meet the needs of existing potential customers, HFC Bank has launched 7 financial products. The second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Abdul Nasir Ishaku, called on banks to cooperate with its outfit to monitor its market development and respond appropriately to ensure currency stability and reduce inflation.
HFC Bank Ghana Limited is one of the leading universal banks in the country. The bank has been very instrumental in the development of the mortgage industry in Ghana with over 30% share of the market. It has now become a subsidiary of Republic Financial Holdings Limited of Trinidad and Tobago. HFC Bank Ghana has decided to provide their varied customers with smart solutions for investments in their children's education, financial cover for their entire lifespan, savings for would-be homeowners, as well as helping customers to cultivate and maintain a savings culture. These and others will be accomplished through the launch of 7 products under the You Deserve More, Make the Switch Now campaign. The executive director of the bank, Osei Safweji, said the campaign is committed to improving the livelihoods of all Ghanaians.
The You Deserve More, Make the Switch Now campaign encompasses a range of customer-centric products aimed at providing quality financial products and services and improving the lives of our cherished customers, regardless of age and lifestyle.
In an address, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Nasiru Ishaku, noted that the Bank of Ghana ensured a considerable exchange rate volatility in the first half of 2015 and said the central bank will monitor the market to gradually bring down inflation.
You recall that the first half year of 2015 witnessed considerable exchange rate volatilities as foreign exchange supply reduced following commodity price shocks, falling prices of major commodities, and demand pressures, among others. Cumulatively, the local currency depreciated significantly during the period. However, with the appropriate monetary policy response, the continuing fiscal consolidation, and prospects of improved foreign exchange supply during the second half of 2015, the trend was reversed. As the city bounced back and has since been relatively stable. This year, the Bank of Ghana will continue to monitor developments in the market and take appropriate measures when necessary to prevent excessive volatility of the domestic currency and gradually bring down inflation.
And that's how we wrap up on News Today this afternoon. My name is Kwabna Chenchen Heneboas. Remember, there's a lot more news when you visit myjoyonline.com. Coming up next is the Marketplace with John Amwako. Many thanks for your time.